All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Giants Talk Coaches Corner. Today, I'm joined as always by head football coach Travis Burkett. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
All right, so we're getting really down to the wire here, Coach. The last game of the regular season fast approaching against Reedley, and this Saturday will be the team's first time coming back home after a win on the road. I know your team's practice schedule is based on taking things 1 week at a time. But how does an extra confidence boost, like a road win, does that change the game day mentality at all?
It doesn't change our mentality, however, preparation equals confidence, confidence equals success, success begets success. So I think that anytime, I heard another coach put it this way, anytime you can come off a win, especially a win on the road, especially, something that's momentous and historic, like the first shutout win in 10 years, I think that that's only naturally, it's human nature. I heard a coach put it, eyes will be a little bit bigger, ears will be a bit more open. We've had a heck of a week of practice, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're on no sweat, perfect Thursday and mental lock-in today, and we'll get it geared back up on Fast Friday tomorrow and rock and roll from there. So I think that it doesn't necessarily change anything. Obviously, winning is better than losing. We play to win the game. I think that if anything, it just shows our guys, the guys that have chosen to be winners through the process and to choose winning habits and behaviors and actions, very clearly on film, and everybody knows it. The guys that are doing those things are playing well, so I think that's what allowed our team to be successful.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty similar to how you guys use Nathan and Tate kind of platoon fashion. It seems like Reedley also does the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of Reedley's quarterbacks, Joshua Magana, is one of the leaders on their teams in rushing yard, while their other quarterback is more of a passer. I know your defense is really good at preventing the running game, but how do you think a potentially large shift in game plan in the middle of the game, depending on which quarterback is playing, how does that impact the way that your defense will be managed throughout the game?
It's funny you bring that up. I think that in all three phases, I told the coaches, even when we're up at halftime, which we plan to be always, we want to always start fast and play with the lead. It's never about establishing any one thing in ODK. It's about starting fast and playing with the lead. And either way, no matter what the circumstances are at halftime, I told the coach last night in our weekly Wednesday night staff meeting to be prepared to be great, always in-game adjusters, but specifically this week, I got a feeling that, halftime adjustments are going to be critical just because, to your point, they've had such a soup du jour offense defense approach, which is great for them. Not only in their quarterback situation, but in their front on defense and what they do and how they're trying to attack people with their offense. So, yeah, I think that we need to really be cognizant of that. And, rush yards in college football can be misleading, right? Because you take off rush yards with sacks and, designed passes that turn into runs are rush yards as well, So, Magana's had a bunch of those. He's ripped off some big runs on escape hatches, and we need to be cognizant of that. We need to swarm and we need to close our rush lanes and counter at the level of Q and all those things that Coach Mason teaches, especially.
Okay. So, of course, after last weekend's shutout, it seems like your team is firing on all cylinders. Like you said, it was the first shutout in 10 years, would you say? So,
yeah.
Okay. However, your team last week was still only 5 for 14 on third down conversions, even though you guys had 324 total yards offense. Do you have a little more insight to give on how your team can get better at converting on third down?
Yeah, you got to catch the ball. I mean, and we don't just say, hey, you, Trav, catch the ball. We talk about technique. We talk about the hows and the fundamentals behind it. I think 5 of 14 and most of our, kind of negative incompletions, drops, non-catches, however you want to put it, we're on those situations. So, I mean, really, I can think of 5 plays off the top of my head that would answer your question. And it has nothing to do with scheme, really has nothing to do with execution. And it really has nothing to do with, sometimes there's an incompletion because they make a great play. I mean, we just had some drops and we need to get better. So, and we worked on it this week. We've had some guys address that individually and collectively, the guys that, had issues to get us to that stat and, prevent us from having, to your point, yardage wise, instead of being 450 plus in offense, 32 points plus on scoring or 31 points in scoring, we got what we got, So yeah, absolutely. We got to make sure when you pass the football, If you're going to pass the football more in a game than you're going to run it, you need to complete 65% of your passes or more.
That makes sense. And just one last thing to close off on. I'll go to your defense for a second. In my write-up I wrote last weekend's game, I thought it was fitting to put an emphasis on the sack city. You guys got 4 sacks on the Panthers quarterbacks. What facet of your defense's game do you think was the key in creating scenarios for your players to break through the line?
I think we played some close coverage. What happened was we played a lot more. We mixed up the coverage a little bit in the second half. Sacks are a team stat. So we played some closer coverage in the back end and with our undercover as well. And then the DBs did a nice job of, getting the quarterback off his initial spot with the coverage piece. And then I think that, our edge rushers are doing a good job of forcing the issue right now. What we need to do is we need to continue to learn about countering at the level on the edge and pushing the pocket and creating interior pressure, whether it's by a third, fourth, or fifth rusher interior or just by our base rush. That's kind of the next step for us. So yeah, the SAC, SACC, that's what we said. We're going to refer to them as Sacramento City College, and that's what showed up for sure.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much. That's all the questions I had for you today.
All right,
I wish you luck. Wish you luck at home this weekend. I should be there. I'll be meeting you after the game for some more questions.
Can't wait to see you after the victory, man. Hang in there.
All right. Yep.
Buddy.
Thank
you. Have a good one. All right, Spence. See you, buddy. Bye-bye.